Hello Pokemon fans, this is ProPokeNoob back today to bring you another battle. It will be a standard doubles match against a person by the name of Mr. Mystery Man. This one will be in a little bit more detail, the other one was just a quick run through of a doubles battle because I thought that'd be really funny and I actually pulled it off. So, you know, it was a nice accomplishment for myself as a narrator. I don't know. But before I start, I have one thing I need to ask from subscribers. There is one subscriber that asked me to help them, him or her, I'm assuming it's a him, just because, you know, stuff. I'm assuming, but he asked me for some battles to start up his channel. He went by the name of Early Man on Pokemon Showdown. I need you to private message me or send me a comment and let me know that you're alive. I need to ask you about the battles because, believe it or not, you are the bulk of my content right now, and frankly, I haven't been getting good battles. I've been battling, but a lot of them, there's just been really, really weird games going on that I don't think is really, you know, upload material, which is coming from me, so, you know, it must be something serious. So I just need you to message me. I gotta talk to you about that stuff, and, if you can get to me as soon as possible, that'd be great. So, looking at my opponent's team, I didn't know Blaziken was allowed, but I'm guessing it's like the mono-type rules where Excadrill's allowed on mono-ground teams and stuff like that. So, Blaziken is allowed. Now, looking at his team, he's got a Sun team, but he's got two enormous threats. He's got Cloyster and he's got Blaziken. He also has Heracross, which can be a threat. He's got Garchomp, which can be a threat. So, essentially, it's just a team of threats. Let's put it that way. My team can kind of deal with threats, but it depends on which threat he starts off with. If he starts off with Cloyster, obviously I gotta target that thing first. If he starts off with Blaziken, I gotta get rid of that thing, right? So it's more or less just focusing down the threats, and I should be okay. So in the ways it leads, I thought the best way would be to set up the rain just to get a Weather War going, as well as sending in Gothitelle to trap his Pokemon. Now, I'm going to quickly pause. As you see the Pokemon he is going to start off with. So I send out my Politoed and my Gothitelle. He sends out the Cloyster and the Blaziken. Now, okay, he started off with the two giant threats that I was afraid of. Now, there's one or two options I could do. I can either focus down one of the two Pokemon because I'm assuming one of them's going to have a Sash, or both of them are going to have a Sash, because apparently Item Claws doesn't exist, even though I designed my team around having Item Claws. Or what I can do is target both of them and potentially cripple them both, take them both out, whatever it is, and I'll determine what items they have. Now, I'm really sketchy about this play, what I do in the beginning here. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go for the Perish Song with Politoed and Psychic on the Cloyster. I assumed they would have a Sash. So, you know, bring it down to a Sash and then be able to just kind of cripple it with Perish Song. Now, I could have just double attacked the Cloyster, to be perfectly honest with you. I was afraid, though, that something would go... I don't know, I was afraid maybe something would go wrong, but at least this way it automatically kills both threats off within 3 turns. However, I am going to suffer a little bit. I'm going to go for Protect on Politoed, but because I allowed the Cloyster to live, he's going to be able to take out my Gothitelle with the Icicle Spear. Now, it's got the cool little colors going with the health bars now. I love it. It's getting better. It's awesome. So, I don't know if I played that wrong or not. You'll see later on in the match. But he's going to go for the high jump kick on my Politoed. He is going to be brought down to half. Now I'm going to speed up a little bit because this is the fun part. So he's going to be whittled down with the Perish Song and stuff like that. Now I believe I send out my Save Alive because it's the next best thing. I have the Fake Out, which is going to be able to deal with the Cloyster. But I'm going to switch out, going to Tornadus. Just making the same mistake as I make with Kyogre, thinking I can take a +2 high jump kick with a defensive Kyogre. I think I can take a +2 high jump kick with a Tornadus with no investment, which is a big mistake. So I'm going to die, but he is going to die next turn. Now, I'm assuming he's not going to switch out because he's at +3 speed and +2 attack. So he's going to go Heracross. I'm going to go back into Politoed because what I can do is protect with the Politoed and go for sub with the Sableye, essentially securing me no deaths, and he's going to have to lose his Blaziken if he doesn't switch out. Now, goes for high jump kick, crashes again, he goes for the Mega Horn, kills the sub, don't care. That threat is dead, but as a result, so is my Gothitelle and, you know, my Tornadus into a sense. I missed a Will-O-Wisp on the Garchomp and he sets up a Swords Dance, which is extremely scary because if that thing has, if this thing has Lumberry, then I'm really screwed. But he has Moxie, which is a good thing. I go for Scald on the Heracross, get the burn, and I was afraid of Guts, but once I saw Moxie, I'm like, well, that's a crippled little sweeper right there. But now his Garchomp is at +2, and I have a Breloom. So I'm going to go for Protect. Unfortunately, well, I'm going to go for the Mach Punch. It doesn't take out the Heracross, and unfortunately, when he goes for the +2 Outrage, it targets the Breloom, because if you don't know, in doubles battles, stuff like Outrage and Thrash are randomly chosen for attacking the target. So he's going to go for the Mega Horn on my Politoed. Obviously, the Protect is your best friend. I'm going to go into Jirachi now. Now, with Jirachi, I'm just going to go for Protect, just to, you know, take less damage, probably, from Heracross. But he actually gets the Outrage onto the Jirachi, which is perfect. He goes also for the Close Combat on the Jirachi, so essentially it's a free turn for me. I'm going to go for a Scald on the Garchomp just to get damage off, hope for a burn. And I do get the burn. He doesn't have the Lum Berry, so it's perfect. Both physical sweepers here are handled with burns, so not too concerned. And they both have boosts, which is just hilarious. I'm going to try to go for Double Protect. Doesn't work on the Jirachi, but I do get the Protect off on the Politoed. And again, he gets the Outrage onto a person with Protect, so that's perfect with me. But he goes for the Close Combat on the Jirachi. Obviously doesn't do a heck of a lot, because Jirachi is a defensive whore. And his his Heracross is going to follow the burn. Now he sends out the weather-inducing Ninetales, which is okay with me, actually. But my Citrus Berry is going to activate as he goes for the Outrage upon me, and he goes for Heat Wave, and because it's a doubles battle, the power gets split, so it actually doesn't take out the Jirachi. I'm just going to go for Water Pulse and Scald on it. Now, you'd think I want to set up my rain, but at this point, I really don't. I only have these last two, and what am I saying? I can't switch them. So, I'm just going to try and target down the Ninetales, because the Garchomp is crippled, and it's just locked into Outrage. So, I'm going to go for another Scald on the Ninetales. As you can see, his Outrages are just hitting the ones with Protect, which is perfect. But I'm going to try and preserve this thing as much as possible. Though Protect does not work, he is confused, and unfortunately his Outrage does hit. But that means I'm going to have to go with Politoed. At this point, I thought I was dead, but Solar Beam actually doesn't do as much as I thought it would. So I am going to be able to take him out with the Scald, and Garchomp is going to follow the burn, but his last Pokemon is the Venusaur, so it's pretty much the end. However, he makes, I think, questionable plays here, because I'm going to go for Protect. I'm like, maybe I could just stall this thing out. He goes for Sleep Powder. He could just set up and sweep or just spam grass attacks, perfectly honest. But he goes for Growth. I'm guessing he's just playing with me, but I think he forgets that I have Perish Song. So, technically, he's leaving it up to chance now, because if I can get 3 Protects off, because it is possible, I can win with a tie. So I'm going to go for the Protect. He is going to go for the Sleep Powder again. I guess knowing that maybe I'll go for Protect, but I'm going to go for the Double Protect, and if I do this, unfortunately, it doesn't happen, and he's got Solar Beam on this thing too. And, well, according to the chat here, I actually predicted the Growth at this time, so I was going to go for the Encore and lock him into that, and then win with Perish Song, but apparently past ProPokeNoob is doing a PPN moment where he doubts himself. But that was an excellent match, Mr. Mystery Man. Comment, rate, and subscribe, everyone. I hope you enjoyed this battle. So that play in the beginning where I didn't double target the Cloyster, I personally didn't know. I thought this guy, because I know Protect is pretty common in doubles battle, so I don't know why I didn't just target down the Cloyster. I think in the end it didn't matter, because Gothitelle wouldn't have been able to deal with things like Venusaur or Ninetales as easily as anything else. The Tornadus play was just a stupid move on my part, but I needed something to die because I wanted to preserve Politoed since he had the Ninetales. So I think it really didn't end up mattering in the end. He still got the game legitimately, but I probably should have just double targeted the Cloyster. And I mean, when you start off with double threats and there's no item cost and they both have Sash, you kind of just assume I gotta bring them both down to my Sash or just go for Perish Song and, you know, make sure that they eventually die. But nonetheless, hindsight and everything else like that, it made sense at the time, it makes sense now, and anything could have happened. So, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. School will hopefully be getting easier. I'm starting to pound through the assignments, but it's really not going as quick as I wanted to, so I'm trying my best to get the content, but for now, this is what you'll have, and you know I exist, so that's the best part. So, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Until then, peace.